President Trump is nominating another potential Surgeon General, the third since he took office last year. Dr. Nicole Saphier is the president's latest pick for the nation's top doctor. She's a radiologist and director of breast imaging at MSK Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. She also spent about 8 years as a Fox News contributor and literally wrote a book titled Make America Healthy Again. Dr. Saphier replaces Casey Means, who was nominated last year and struggled to make it out of the confirmation hearing after several Republican senators refused to advance her. However, both of them have supported Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy in the MAHA movement. Joining me now is Dr. Anahita Dua, vascular surgeon at Mass General and the founder and chair for Healthcare for Action. Dr. Dua, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well. This is the third nomination the president has had to make for the Surgeon General position. How unprecedented is this?
Having 3 nominees, of course, is unprecedented, but quite frankly, I'm happy he did it because of the 3, this lady definitely is the best pick.
I'm glad you said that, Dr. Dua, because I think to suggest that somehow Dr. Saphier is the same as Dr. Means would be a disservice to Dr. Saphier, yes?
Absolutely. Dr. Saphier is very clinically strong. She's also a high communicator, which is important because at this point, really, public trust in the healthcare system is at an all-time low, and Trump's picks are responsible for that to some extent. So finally, a real clinician, board certified, and someone who really knows how to break things down to communicate to the public about health is just what we sort of need. The only thing that she doesn't have, which is okay, is a strong public health background, and that's just a little bit off the beaten track, but that's okay because of her clinical background, which will allow her to be the best of the 3.
Dr. Dua, you mentioned her clinical background as opposed to that of Dr. Means. Why is that important, and why does that benefit the American people?
Well, the Surgeon General is essentially the nation's top doctor. And as a surgeon, as you mentioned earlier, one of the things that I specifically take a responsibility for is ultimately the health of my patient. Dr. Saphier is going to have to take responsibility for the health of America. And so her having that clinical experience, knowing what it means to be accountable is really key. Casey Means did not have board certification, really never took care of any patients in the traditional sense, and therefore was not qualified at the base level to take on that job.
Do you believe also, Dr. Dua, that this may also assuage some of the critics of the MAHA movement and Mr. Kennedy himself, that an actual certified doctor, like you talk about with the clinical experience, might actually push back on some of the things that have made some uncomfortable?
Well, I think it remains to be seen. Ultimately, what we need to see with Dr. Saphier is that she's not going to be a political pawn. As a surgeon, as a doctor, as a radiologist, your job is to be apolitical, frankly. You're supposed to follow the science and do what's best for the country. Now, she has been a Fox News contributor. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. It's okay to align with a political party, but she needs to come out and be strong against some of the positions that RFK has taken to really gain that credibility as a physician amongst the community.
I've heard someone mention once before, you talk about it doesn't matter where a person works because they're saying viruses are actually hold no bias. They will attack every political party. President Trump said on Truth Social that Saphier will make America healthy again and said, our country has long been waiting for you. If that's the case, why wasn't she the Surgeon General pick from the get-go?
I think because they allowed politics to jump into their decision-making. They were not thinking, who is the best doctor for America? They were thinking, who's the best person to put up as a shill and say, this is somebody who's a doctor, you should listen to her. And they got public lashback because of that. And they've learned from that, it seems, because now they've picked someone like Dr. Saphier. Her opinions, at least those that I have read and seen, really seem to be pretty middle of the road. There are some people that are calling her, quote, anti-vax, which she absolutely is not. She was anti-mandate. She was saying, look at the science and be nuanced, which I completely support.
Dr. Dua, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
The FBI